maybe 20-something years ago, we had the battle out here in the Los Angeles area with Stuvie's certified raw milk, Altadena. I mean, you know, they've been fighting this forever. And in your article, you mention a lot of it has to do with, if not most of it, competition.
Well, absolutely. The folks who prepare these lawsuits and monitor this situation, they report that, you know, the members of Congress who are approving these rules or approving these laws, and the bureaucrats who are instituting these rules and regulations have links to large dairy corporations, large institutionalized food companies, and of course, if you have a natural and inexpensive food locally that consumers buy, they have a tendency not to shop the big boys. So therein lies a lot of the controversy and a lot of the reason for what's going on here.
And you were talking about the case in Pennsylvania where they go in private property and they raid this guy's property at 5 a.m. in the morning, and then the incident was followed by a report a few days later that documented a proposal pending in Congress that critics say would do for the nation's food supply what the new health care reform has done for health care resources.
Well, yes, that's correct, and there's it's a fairly complicated proposal, but what it allows the bureaucracy in Washington do is to create all sorts of new rules, new regulations, new reporting requirements, new documentation requirements, and these rules could, you know, theoretically be applied to some 10-year-olds who want to pick apples off their tree and sell them on a sidewalk stand. They're vague enough that people are forecasting a lot of headaches that would come if this is in fact turned into law.
Bob, is this the S510 Food Safety Modernization Act of 2010? And you say, I don't know if this is your words or not, I think they are, that this may be the most dangerous bill in the history of the United States.
Well, just imagine if there's a federal bureaucrat who has a vaguely worded instruction to create all of the rules necessary so that he's convinced food is safe. And of course, safe being defined by the bureaucrats themselves. Under those circumstances, what food could not be challenged on that basis? I mean, any fresh fruit, any fresh vegetable. What about the canning process? Canned goods. What if someone alleges that the canning process is not safe or does not present a safe product? There are all sorts of things, and it wasn't my words that you were quoting there, but some of these folks handling the lawsuit. But the problem is what the financial bailout did for the banks. That may or may not be horrendous, but people don't have to have money to live until tomorrow morning. They do have to have food and water to live until tomorrow morning, and so that's the particular focal point that the danger is extreme, according to these people bringing the lawsuit and the others concerned, because food is not something that is a take it or leave it option in our lives. It's really integral to seeing the sunrise tomorrow morning.
I got to tell you something. A lot of people think that we are getting very, very close to this socialized United States of America, socialization, and they're going, oh, no, no, no. And when you start dealing with the air we breathe, cap and trade, all right, not only have they got their stinky fingers in that, but here we go, and I'm telling you, Bob, when you go to the ballot boxes, you've got to get rid of these bums and get a new set of bums, all right, because these guys, you need to take notes and take names, and here's a name for you, U.S. Representative John, Dingell, Democrat, Michigan. See, this is the plan. He's the sponsor on this, okay? John Dingell, Democrat, Michigan. And he explains the legislation is a critical step for equipping the FDA with the authorities and funding it needs to regulate what is now global marketplace, global. See, there's your new world order thrown in there for food, drug, devices, cosmetics. My goodness, what did they leave out? Are your animals next?
Well, you're exactly right. There should be a high level of concern for what some of these things can do. Now, I don't think anybody would disagree that we're concerned about a food source. I mean, we've heard about the contamination from imported food supplies and stuff. We all want our food to be safe. But the point is, if you're living in a farming community, if you're living in any sort of community where certain foods are produced, do you feel more comfortable buying them from your neighbors, the folks down the street or the folks across town, or do you want everything to go through the huge supermarket chain and processing? It seems to me that when I was growing up, we bought a lot of our food locally. I can remember going out to the fields to get it. We would go drive out and buy a part of a field of sweet corn and load it in our trunk and bring it home.
Well, in your article, you're saying the FDA essentially believes that nobody has the right to choose what to eat or drink. And I mean, look at, their big thing right now about getting rid of salt. Maybe that's right. Maybe there is too much salt in a lot of these foods. But like somebody said, when they start telling we got to control what they're advertising. I saw a guy on Fox says, you don't need to have a brand new committee or a brand new division of government to tell you what to eat or what your kids can or cannot eat. You need one person or two people called parents. Just say, no, you don't need this. And I want to get in here in a moment about the political reasons and how this is dangerous. And then cow shares. Well, wait until you hear about that. Bob Unruh, he's news editor for World Net Daily. Go there, WND.com, and read it. It's utterly ridiculous. UDDERLY. We'll be right back.
Since OnStar